beautiful day, and by the intro of the video you guys can probably tell that there is something very different on the channel, and it's kind of a different video than I would usually do because this is my buddy Ashton's truck picked up, or we just picked up yesterday I should say, down somewhere in like Kansas, or no, Nashville, Tennessee. And I usually don't do videos like this, but since Ashton tows all my shit 90% of the time, we should probably do a little build series on this new single cab, long bed, cabin chassis, dually 6.7 Cummins. So first things first, obviously, you guys see the truck. It is still on stock wheels and tires. I don't think that usually stays how it is. They don't usually stay on stock wheels. That's not my truck, but you get the idea that me and my friends don't keep stock wheels on anything, so those are probably going to go in the very near future, but that's for another day. I'm getting sidetracked already. Anyways, it's a 6.7 Cummins. It only has 115,000 miles on it, and being that it's a cabin chassis truck, it came with the Aisin transmission, so we're going to see how that thing holds up. Personally, I don't think me or my friends have ever had the Aisin transmission. Maybe, I don't know. I've always had a 68 in my 4th gen or G56. So we will see how the Aisin does towing. But if we come back here, as soon as we stopped and got this truck, we crawled down underneath here and we noticed that it has a massive stack of leaf springs. And then we were like, oh, the truck's on half the tank and we have 6 hours left. So we ran to the gas station and it took $140 to fill up half the tank. We realized it had like a 60-gallon tank on it. But overall, the truck is an amazing truck. We've only put about 600 miles on it so far. It does have a 2012 interior. And if you take a close look, you can kind of see 115,694 miles. I think this is a one-owner truck. Slapped the edge monitor in it yesterday because, you know, we had to see our DEF pressure, DPF pressure. That's a very important one when you have a Cummins. So you don't want to let your diesel exhaust fluid run out. Or if you're like me, we just cut all the bullshit out of it that we don't need. So this covered, whatever this is for. Oh, see, my truck has these wires, but there's no plugs for them. That's probably why. That's why I don't need DEF, because I unplugged these. So if we unplug these wires really quick, plug this little sensor, don't need DEF anymore, so that should be good. But yeah, we're gonna knock all this stuff out of it, kick that EGR cooler out, definitely probably make it into a 2nd gen, exhaust half of the motor, swap out the air box. Batteries are new, so that's good. But this is a beautiful truck. And you know, when we get new vehicles, we always take them to a place called Infinite Customs, and we're actually very close to there right now. So I think the windows need tinted, the radio definitely needs replaced, and yeah, so to Infinite Customs to, what people say, destroy the truck the second that you own it. Yeah, ruin the truck because we're putting a radio inside of it or tinting the windows. So it's ruining the truck, and yeah. So I was trying to film the truck getting tinted, but when we pulled in, they disappeared with the truck. So I guess it is somewhere back here, but all the doors are closed. So unit 10, we were told. Right there, look at that. Number 10. Oh, hey, there's the truck. Hey! The windows are definitely getting murdered out. Back windows tinted. What are you doing, cleaning it?
I'm just looking busy.
Looking busy. They're putting a radio inside of it while buddy over there is tinting the windows. They still got the windshield left to do. But this thing should be pretty sick once we get the tint all done and the radio put into it. So we're gonna let them finish up. And then we still gotta figure out those headlights. That thing's got some freaking tint on it now. I don't know why, but whenever you tint a vehicle, it changes the whole look of the vehicle. And if you ask me, that thing is freaking dark now. So, 5% tint on the sides and the back, I believe. And then 35 on the windshield. And then we got a double din installed inside of it. So, now the radio works and the speakers play sound, because before the radio worked, but the volume knob was broken. So now we got that installed, tint is done. And this thing looks like a completely different truck. So back to the house, and we got some more work to do to it. We got to figure out the headlights on it, like I just said, and we should be ready to rock. So I don't think we have showed you guys these yet, but we do have a set of white headlights that are already color matched for a 4th gen. I forget which truck they're out of, but I'm pretty sure they're out of one of Gabe's trucks. They were just laying in the shop, so we said, hey, why not see if these things will look good inside of here? But the only downfall that we're having right now is we don't have the ballast for the HIDs, and we don't have the module for the LED strips. So that probably won't be a project for this video. All right, well, we can buy a cabin chassis tow rig without hooking it up to the gooseneck and showing you guys how it tows. So right now I'm backing up to my 40-footer. I'm gonna take that back to the house. I gotta pick up my big truck, and I'm doing something to that you guys have all been waiting for a long time. And now the comments will finally stop that say, where's your front drive shaft? Fast forward, we just made it back to the house. And I know that was kind of like a quick transitions, but the truck is loaded up. And we are headed to the drive shaft place to drop off the drive shaft that is for a stock F250 axle. So what they're gonna have to do is go from a 1410 U-joint that is up here at the transfer case down to a 1350, I believe these are in the stock F250s. And I don't know how that's gonna happen. So I'm gonna take the truck with me there to figure that out. So once that drive shaft's in, I'll be able to have 4-wheel drive. Unfortunately, if I want to use 4-wheel drive, the front axle hubs have to be locked. And right here, you guys can see, there's a lever that locks it into 4-wheel drive. Now it's in 4-wheel drive, smack the lever back, it's in 2-wheel drive, and that'll free spin. So it's kind of a headache. Unless I just get a cable that just pulls it back and forth, I don't know. But yeah, we probably will just leave it with this manual 4-wheel drive locking mechanism. So I just got back from dropping off my truck, and Ashton should be here, and he is. And I ordered a couple gifts for him on Amazon, because why not buy a 4th gen and not make an Amazon build? Does that make sense?
Sure.
Sure. I mean, so we got a new long block for the truck off Amazon. We got twin turbos off Temu, and I'm about to show him how they look. So you gotta find the boxes. They're somewhere in here. I hid them inside the closet. There's just 2 boxes on the ground.
Amazon special.
Amazon special. It's like Christmas for Ashton. He just went to work, and I was like, hey, there's Christmas presents at the house, so when you get home, you gotta open them. You got a
Wow. Thanks, Mom.
a 50 caliber bullet. You kind of can't see it, but
It's there.
it's there. It's done. By the way, Ashton has no idea what I ordered, but he did give me like, I don't know, like $200 or $300 and said, just find something for the truck. I gotta go to work. I was like, all right, bet.
Cab lights.
LED cab lights.
Do these gifts come installed or?
And then a Amazon cold air intake, which, to be honest with you, I've had better performance out of the Amazon intake than the SMB intake. Unless I'm just looking at the sound of it, but the SMB is more like EPA rated. Is that a thing? And then the Amazon is just like a big 5-inch tube with a big ass filter on the back of it. So we're gonna get to installing some of this stuff, and might as well do the little stuff now while the truck's not 10 feet in the air, because tow rigs have to be lifted massive in order to be a tow rig. Not gonna lie, the LED kind of looks sick.
Right.
I didn't think about that or that. We should probably get new mirrors.
More LEDs.
So do we just get to break this off right now? So we got one of the cab lights installed, and honestly, I was always a fan of like the amber lights. Like on my big truck, I left the amber bed lights and like the stock color tail lights, because on a dually, I just feel like cab lights and like the turn signal lights should all be like the factory color. Maybe that's just a side of me that wants to like comply with the DOT regulations and being on the highway, but seeing that white LED, I might just be changing all of my trucks to white LEDs. Throw the rest of the cab lights on, put the pointless third brake light on it that really wasn't thought through that well. So we're gonna slap the rest of these on and probably start taking out that intake. Just got the cab lights installed. And if you ask me, those things look pretty freaking slick. And then obviously the 50 cal. But we were pulling off the intake and we kind of noticed something that shouldn't have been like that. That's probably why we thought it was starving for air. But if you ask me, I don't think the filter should look anything like that. So we're gonna take this filter, throw that in the garbage, and now we got a very clean, fresh filter. Look at the difference. Oh my God.
Dude, you can't even fucking...
That's crazy. We removed all the rocks and I don't know what you want to call that. The muffled air breather box deal filter guy. We can now install the new one on there. And there should be no problem with the truck breathing now, especially since we're opening up the airway a lot. So with that being said, that's gonna end today's video. I don't know, what do you guys think of this truck? I think personally it's badass, and I cannot wait to see how it does once we get it deleted, tuned, put the exhaust on it, and get a gooseneck hooked up on it for a long travel, because I only went about an hour round trip with the gooseneck on it, and it did phenomenal. But obviously when you get on the highway with one of these trucks towing, that shows you the true power